I give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which ruled Great Millstone Wild, which taught us the truth, which taught me the truth. Yahweh Shai is the truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Wa Abba Babal. So this is an AI generated image of Donald Trump, Nero 47, recruits Rambo to end the war in Iran. All right. So this is by The Machine is the channel. All right, which I guess they do a mix of AI videos. All right, but I'm going to play this one. So I declare the Copyright Act, Section 107. I'm using this material for the edification, for the education of the Israelites, according to biblical prophecy. Because there's a couple things he says in here that actually give off the intent of Nero 47, all right, against the Israelites. Because if you understand John Rambo, he's a Native American Indian, which would make him an Israelite in the movie. All right, which, we believe Stallone is a Jake, but the actual character in Rambo, John Rambo, he was a Native American Indian that went to the military and fought in Vietnam in the movie. So I'm going to let this play, and then I'm going to jump in when there's certain points to be made.
How are you, Johnny?
Good.
John, I'm sorry to send you to such a hellhole.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, you have, haven't you? John, I told you I'd help you out when I could. You interested? You can't possibly want to stay here for another 10 years.
10?
And see, they're going to do this with the implantable microchip, the mark of the beast. They're going to make it mandatory for buying and selling, and this is going to be a technique that they use on some of the Israelites to deceive them into taking that chip. They may put you in prison and say if you don't take that chip, you're going to die in the prison. But you may get your head cut off, all right? But death is gain in that situation. All right, it's better to die than to take the chip. The implantable microchip, the mark of the beast.
It's supposed to be 5.
20, depending how this conversation goes.
See, he said, I thought it was supposed to be 5 years here. He said 20 unless, this conversation goes well, right? And that's how the devil works, through manipulation.
Kidding. A covert operation is being geared up in the Middle East. Your name was dug up by the computer as the most capable to complete the mission.
Mission?
Iran. John, the midterms are coming up and we need to end this war. Empty threats and promises aren't working. We have a deal, we don't have a deal. I'm going to blow them up, I'm not going to blow them up. People aren't falling for it anymore. Your mission will be to capture the Ayatollah. Bring him to me so I can put him over my knee on the White House lawn and spank his bare ass raw on live television while singing God Bless the USA.
Seriously?
See, and it's fitting to Nero 47's character because that's how proud that man is. All right?
Tremendously.
Why me? Why not Hegseth?
Hegseth wears too much hair product. One flick of a match from the enemy and his head will explode like a fireworks factory. John, if this mission is successful, I'll pardon you so fast your head will spin. It'll be like nothing anyone has ever seen before. All clear?
Sure.
Good. The next time we meet will be at the White House. In the meantime, don't drop the soap.
All right, so I pulled it up so you can see it. It says John Rambo is canonically of mixed heritage, including Native American Navajo descent. All right, so he represents an Israelite. I want to look that word up. It says Kanakali. Get it so I can pronounce it for me.
Canonical.
Canonical of relating to or forming a canon. See, a regulation or dogma decreed by a church council. Look at that. It says an authoritative list of books accepted as Holy Scripture.
Authoritative.
Authoritative means trusted, reliable, or based on proper knowledge or official power. See, so they intentionally made him a Native American Indian in the movie because Jake is the majority of Esau's military. This is why it says in 2 Ezra 16, there shall be a great insurrection against them that fear the Lord. All right, Esau is going to use Jake as their super soldiers. All right, because that's really what Rambo was. He was a super soldier. All their heroes, right? Flash, Hulk, Iron Man, they're all superheroes, but they're super soldiers when you understand the story. All right, so they got Jake in the military and they're going to use them as they please, but it's going to end badly for Jake and Esau. And I say Jake being the sons of Jacob. The North American Indian are the tribe of Gad. All right. All right. So I pulled up politicians using AI or using a president for AI, using a president in AI video. It says political and satirical. Let's see. Satirical, which is meaning comedy, uses. Generative AI videos featuring political figures have become a prominent fixture in modern political communication and online culture. Politicians and supporters use AI tools to produce stylized or satirical clips, such as deep fake videos depicting leaders as historical figures, fictional characters, or interacting with animated predecessors. Public figures have shared AI-generated content, like Nero. He made himself like a messiah, ranging from playful parodies to sharp political commentary directly to social media platforms. All right. So it could be generated by a politician or it could be generated by his supporters. All right. But either way, they were making the point that they would want to cast you into prison so that they could try to get what they want from you, which is that implantable microchip. But you got to remember, in the movie Stallone's in with Wesley Snipes. The movie is called, hold on, right here. It says, yes, Sylvester Stallone's character, John Spartan, is implanted with a tracking microchip in the 1993 sci-fi movie Demolition Man alongside Wesley Snipes. And it didn't show Wesley Snipes being chipped. It was showing John Spartan, which was Sylvester Stallone's character, which they pulled him out of a deep freeze, which was the prison system in that movie, to chase down Wesley Snipes. Just like in this movie, they're pulling him out of a prison to offer him a deal to go after the Iranian leader. All right? But this is what they're headed to, is trying to deceive you into accepting that chip, the implantable microchip, the RFID trackable microchip. And that is the mark of the beast. And they're going to use the prison system as a form of manipulation. All right. So going to Revelation 2 and 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. The devil is the so-called white race. And they shall cast some of you, being the Israelites that believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, into prison, that ye shall be tried, which that word tried means proven. Our faith will be proven because we're going to remain faithful. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Which, whether we live or whether we die, our works follow us. Revelation 14, verse 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth, yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. So we won't lose nothing. All right. In fact, when you die, you just go right into your heavenly body before the Lord, waiting for him to be sent back. All right. Because it tells you in Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians, I believe it is. And it says, they shall arise first. But it says right here in verse 14, for if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will Yahweh bring with him. So they're going to raise first because they're already with him. When you die, you don't go to the grave, just your flesh. Your spirit goes back to the Father, and you go into a heavenly body before him. So them that are already dead are going to come with him in their heavenly bodies. That's why it says in verse 16, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven, Yahushai, with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first, because they're already with him. They'll be with him when he comes back. And they which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord Yahushua in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one and another with these words. All right, because when Yahweh sends Yahweh Shai, he's going to save us from the second death. It says in Revelation 18 verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, which were literally going to be called, all right, by the Hebrew tongue into Yahweh Shai's chariot, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and ye receive not of her plague, so we don't suffer that nuclear destruction, the second death. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh, sending Yahweh Shai, hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled, fill to her double, which they've had us in slavery in America, and they refused to let us go. So as it says in Revelation 18 and 20, rejoice over her. And I like it in the NLT, it says, over her fate. Over her being America, Babylon the great whore, thou heaven and ye holy apostles and prophets of Israel, for Yahweh, sending Yahweh Shai, hath avenged you on her, because they're going to persecute us unto death, and they have persecuted us unto death in different lives. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea. The sea is the sea of people. America is known as a melting pot. Saying, thus with violence shall that great city, Babylon, aka America, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So this is a prophecy of that second death, the nuclear destruction of the great whore, Babylon the Great, which it's referring to, aka America. And this is talking about the nuclear destruction, which is going to come from its allies and enemies, the NATO nations, the UN nations, and the BRIC nations. They're going to shoot nuclear missiles on America from every direction after they make that implantable microchip, the mark of the beast, mandatory for buying and selling. And they're going to use prison as a technique of manipulation. All right, they're going to put you in prison, threaten you with all kinds of time, even a death sentence, so that you will be deceived into taking an implantable microchip. But the elect will not be deceived, for death will be gain in that situation. We'd rather die than take that implantable microchip. All right? And Esau, he wants to prove it, if it's true or not. Because they're watching our videos, right? So they hear us, and they're pretty much wanting to try it. It says in Wisdom of Solomon 2, and this is dealing with the wicked, the ungodly, and their reasoning. It says, I'll start at 12. It says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, because they watch our videos, right? They know that we're not for the wicked ruling. And he is clean contrary to our doings, which we didn't accept the jab. We're not going to accept the implantable microchip. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, with our preaching. It has turned the world upside down, and objected to our infamy, the transgressings of our education. So we're telling the truth, and it's revealing them as the lying devil they are, the so-called white race, the wicked. He professeth to have the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, and he calleth himself it says the child, but the son of the Lord Yahweh. Just like Yahushai, right? Yahushai said that he was the Messiah, the son of Yahweh, and this is why they wanted to crucify him. All right? So this is why they want to destroy us, because we're saying we're the sons of Yahweh through Yahushai. We are Yasharallah. He was made to reprove our thoughts, right? So we were raised up to condemn the wicked. He is grievous unto us, even to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We live righteously, while everybody else is living wicked lives. We really desire and hunger and thirst for righteousness, though we are sinners in the flesh. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. All right, those small hat, tiny tops, they're counterfeits. Their Christianity, counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness, like taking that chip. That's a filthy act. It's an abomination. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, for we shall inherit the world, the kingdom of heaven, and the heathen will be our slaves. And maketh his boast that Yahweh is his father, just like Yahushai did. And they're going to want to persecute us for this testimony. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. So they want to try us. They want to put us in captivity, put us in the prison system, and torture us to see if they could manipulate us and deceive us into taking that chip. But the elect will not be deceived, as prophesied. It says in verse 18, for if the just man be the son of Yahweh, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. And see, we're not greater than our master. Even Yahushai had to hear this taunt of, if Yahweh is your father, let him come down and save you. Which we're in a different time, all right? And there is a time where Yahweh is going to send Yahushai back to save us. All right, but some of us are going to die, not many of us, for it is precious, the death of the saints. It says in verse 18, for if the just man be the son of Yahweh through Yahushai, he will help him and deliver him from the hands of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness, his willingness, and prove his patience. All right? So Yahweh is going to send Yahushai to save us, but some of us are going to die to testify of the prophecy and fulfill prophecy. But it tells you in Revelation 6 that when they start killing the saints, the sanctified Israelites, that's the end of the Edomites and them ruling the world. Revelation 6 verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh and for the testimony which they held, which we testify of Yahushai through the word of Yahweh. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Because they're going to murder us. And white robes were given unto every one of them that died. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled, which were in this time. They're going to persecute some of us unto death. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, nuclear destruction. As soon as they start touching his elect, a great judgment is predestined for the wicked and their kingdom. It says, and lo, there was a great earthquake, which this is going to be caused by the nuclear destruction of Babylon the great whore, America. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, which we have the sign of the blood moon. There's a blood moon happening this month, this Sabbath, August 2026. And the stars of heaven, which are the nuclear missiles, they look like stars falling from heaven, fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed in a scroll when it is rolled together, and the mountain and island were moved out of their places from the great earthquake and the nuclear destruction of the great whore. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, in their bunkers, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, Yahweh, and from the wrath of the Lamb, Yahushai. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Which we're going to stand in the chariot looking down on the destruction of the great whore. Revelation 15:1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. And I saw as it were a sea of glass, which is the ozone layer, mingled with fire. So that nuclear destruction is going to be so great it shakes the earth, and it's going to turn a day into a day that it burns as an oven. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast, which is the so-called white race, and over his image, the system that they're setting up, and over his mark, which they're making a digital system, which they've created a digital wallet for their digital currency. The implantable microchip, the mark of the beast, and over the number of his name, which the number of his name is Chi Xi Stigma 666. Stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, which we've been telling you of these things by the Holy Spirit. And one day we'll be in the chariot looking down on this place burning in our new bodies. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, Yahushai, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, our power, Almighty Yahweh, and his Son Yahushai, just and true, for thy ways, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. See, so we're going to glorify Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in those new bodies, and we're already doing that now. We glorify Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai as we preach to the Israelites and condemn the wicked that rule the world, the Edomites, and the rest of the nations that are confederate with the whore. All right. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Wa abba babal.